What's up guys, you have Chris here. Here's a little update. 15-gallon water change about 2 days ago. Before that I added 40 pounds of cichlid sand, so it's a fine aragonite. So put that in and mix the substrate with 15 gallons, remove some waste, and mixed in the substrate. So definitely. So also I've done is spread out the maxi jets in the Kedsun. So there's one over here, maxi jet in the Kedsun, and then two over here, maxi jet in the Kedsun on this side. So they got good agitation there. Also, I like to keep air stones in my tanks, so quite a bit of air is coming off these two. So also what I did for maintenance is clean the aquarium's two sides of the glass in the front, and I left the back unscraped by razor blade. I think I'm going to let green algae, because it thrives on the established older aquariums, and let that grow in. Maybe they could graze on it, but let it grow in and maybe it'll reduce nutrients. Because algae does reduce nutrients and adds oxygen to the water. So until I get in there and scrape it off, I mean the fish love to eat it when I scrape it off, so they love to eat it. So I measured out 5 gallon buckets with cichlid sand, cleaned them real good with tap water and a hose. You got all that aragonite chalk out. But for opinion, I think you should clean crushed coral, or aragonite is very dirty. The crushed coral is not too bad, but the aragonite is a lot more chalkier. So definitely have to clean that real good. So every one tank got some cichlid sand. So I think that was my holding piece, my goal, just to add that little amount into the aquariums and really just do wonders. Because for right now, every tank has been added with substrate of coral for a long period of time, over and over again. So me putting in that little aragonite in there, it really just makes it look good. So it's a little difficult to feed this queen. Queens are a little picky on appetite and attitude. So definitely, if they don't eat well, they'll go for a hunting spree and go after other fish. But this fish has been kept with cichlids for basically his whole, until I've had him. So I definitely wouldn't put a hybrid in here with this queen, or any queen really, but. So you can see I scraped the glass, but there wasn't much green algae. There was just a filament from water changes that just builds up from food. So what I have also done was clean mechanical filtration. On this aquarium, it's pretty stocked and the substrate's pretty dirty sometimes, so cleaning it stirs up the substrate, and your biological will actually grow in bacteria. So it'll go in the filter and grow more bacteria. So the more you stir up your substrate, your filters actually intake all that stuff in the water column, and it helps biologically. But the mechanical filtration was changed, and it wasn't too bad, but in this tank it was a little dirty. On that side, on that filter was a little dirty, but wasn't too bad. Some tanks really didn't need to be changed, but I did it anyways, which is. I ate seaweed today, earlier. They eat about a little under a sheet, and they seem to be doing good with that. And they've been eating medium pellets. Queen's been a little soft lately because when I feed her the seaweed, she doesn't really attack. She's gentle. And when I go in there with the gravel siphon, the queen doesn't really go after me. Sometimes the fish go after you, but sometimes they kind of stick to their own and don't go after you. But sometimes they really do. So the lighting on here is artinic blue. It's for a reef tank, but it's still fluorescent. And then a full spectrum daylight bulb, 48 inch. They're both 48 inch, but this guy's really cool. He's healthy. I've had a couple of them like this, but my stock levels right now. The aquarium is looking good. The carbon, when I did the mechanical filtration change out, I took the carbon out of the aqua clear and I flipped it so the other side would remove more particles rather than one side getting full and flipping it to get the other side. As before, I had 2 Kedsuns on this side and 2 Maxi Jets on that side, but it like change. When you put your hand in the water, even in the middle here, you can feel a current in a way. I haven't fed Hikari frozen krill in a long time, since the last update on YouTube, but I'll do it before I do a water changer, and then I'll plan it in advance, and then I'll do the water change. So this is my favorite tank in a way, my oldest, but full of life, full of bacteria. Get away from the glare. This queen's been with me for some time, so definitely means a lot. I just did 15 gallons, and then I had an extra 5 gallons for top off, and that kind of brought the level up. I used the mag float with polyfiber and just kind of, it's got a magnet and it just kind of cleans. It doesn't remove green algae, but it will remove the filament on here when it builds up over time. But gives the water or the tank a crystal shine. We're gonna look at the substrate now. So some fish dig, some fish don't. Freddy doesn't dig, Red Devil digs, Queen digs, other Queen digs. And that's about it. But this Queen really digs. I mean, as soon as I do a water change, she's digging. So she's a digger. She's actually broke the sediment on the bottom of the tank a couple times. And that helps with getting to the bottom, even with her digging. It helps me. But substrate's very old, has different varieties of coral and 100 pounds of pebbles. I'm pretty sure it was 100 pounds when I started the tank. And it's got some mixture of gravel in there. But fully alive with nitrifying bacteria. Agitation from a Maxi Jet. When you do a water change, it really helps with keeping the fish happy over a high period of time. Here's the other side. And then the Kedsuns are 550 gallons an hour, and the Maxi Jets are 500 gallons an hour. So as the aeration comes up with air bubbles, the agitator will go over the bubbles and pop them, and it helps with aeration. I filter all these balls here are biological filtration, which break down ammonia into nitrite and then into nitrate. It's got mechanical filtration here to clean the water, make it clean. I took out the bracket here, or the piece that goes here and here, took them out. Just kept the bottom rack on the bottom to give it structure. And then just laid the full thing out of marine pure and added carbon and mechanical filtration padding. Carbon's at the top, so it's the most cleanest. And at the bottom is marine pure, and then we have these marine pure on the top as well. But definitely a good flow out of it. It's a constant.